Hello. um. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hello, everyone. It's Thomas Jujubee, and welcome to a live stream. Today, we're going to be talking about the KingOhger crossover with Kyoryuger. I don't know what happened. Don't you just? It seems like a classic Thomas Jujubee move. Every year, a stream has to go horribly wrong. I don't know what happened because on my end, everything was fine, and then. Like it still said I was streaming, but now it said I had 0 viewers, and it just started streaming again, but it made a private live stream. So yeah. Oh well. I'm back. So if anyone wanted to hear me talk about the Kyoryuger thing, I'm here. Kyoryuger, I'll give a couple seconds in case anyone wants to join back in. John Toei sent in a sniper. It's very possible. I won't rule out that possibility. Here we go. Why Samba Dinos and Royal Bugs? Okay, there's like a few layers to this. Like when you think about it at first, it's like why is the dinosaur Sentai and the Royal Bug Sentai crossing over? But I haven't seen Kyoryuger, so this is just stuff I've been heard or stuff you can see, obviously. It's the 10-year anniversary of KingOhger. Sorry, no, that show's still airing. It's the 10-year anniversary of Kyoryuger, so, they're celebrating the 10-year anniversary. Why in KingOhger to show, the main character of Kyoryuger, or the Red Ranger at least, his name was King, or they nicknamed him King. His real name was like Daigo or something, but they called him King. The characters called him King. So he was a king. And I think in the show, this is what I've heard, he was apparently called like the King of the Earth. So he's like a king of stuff, like our other KingOhgers. And our current villain is the King of the Universe. So we're starting to do some multiple world stuff happening here. We've got different kings ruling Earth, King of the Universe, King of other Earth from a different show. So like, kings are just kind of working with that. But also, I think Kyoryuger movies kind of elaborated on this, or they said it. Apparently, the bad guys in Kyoryuger were made by some other faction. I don't really know exactly. If someone knows, they can let me know in the chat. But at least what I've known is like there's some entity related to the Both in Kyoryuger, which it seems like they are going to connect to the Galact insects. So the Galact insects are apparently integral parts of Kyoryuger lore. And now that they're fighting the KingOhgers, the Kyoryuger is going to be showing up and fighting them as well. So again, it sounds kind of weird. It's still kind of weird because it's like dino bugs, they're gonna combine in a robot, and it's like that doesn't really happen. However, I personally like, just like on a surface level, I think it's kind of fun. Like honestly, as I said in that video, this is just kind of crazy. This doesn't happen in Kamen Rider either. Like Kamen Rider Sentai, these kinds of Toei shows, like this is an Ultraman thing. Ultraman likes to do this. Kamen Rider Sentai don't do this, because not only is King appearing to celebrate his 10th anniversary, he's getting a new toy in this DX toy line that will give him a new form that looks like the current season, and his mecha is going to combine with the robots. Like, The closest thing we have to that, I did kind of go more in depth in this when we got the reveals way back in earlier in summer. It's the video with Kyoryuger in the thumbnail if you want to see it. But like the closest thing we have is Decade in Geo, where he appeared in Geo. He had a new toy, he fought and stuff, but he only showed up for like a couple of episodes here and there. He just had a new Deca driver that they sold in Premium Bandai. It's not like he wore a Jiku driver or had a new belt system that used a watch. This is King. I mean, technically he's using a Kyoryuger toy, but it's a Kyoryuger toy meant for the KingOhger toy line. He's getting like a KingOhger looking form. So, you know, this doesn't really happen. And apparently he's doing it for like at least a month or like a couple of episodes. Because like we've got Don Momotaro in, like, yes, bringing up Don Brothers, but that was the next season cameoing in Zenkaiger with his Zenkaiger vehicle, and Don Brothers itself was just a Zenkaiger sequel kind of with the toys, so it's not the craziest thing, but this is like seemingly random unconnected Sentai showing up, new toy, taking a part in the story. Like, he's not showing up, I mean, I think he is showing up to advertise his show, of course, or sorry, his crossover stuff, or sorry, they're probably getting 10th anniversary Kyoryuger stuff ready, and this is going to be advertising that. But he's also just here to be in the show, so pretty crazy. So this thing, of course, well, this is obviously a toy you can buy, and they're selling a new Kyoryugen, which I didn't put the normal picture here, but like he's like, it's basically just a smaller, fully articulated Kyoryugen. Someone asked earlier if it's coming with Judenchis and if he can read Judenchis. You can see there's like a Judenchi molded into Gabutira's mouth. So they're smaller, there's no electronics, but you get articulation as a result. And now he's going to be able to combine with the Shoe Gods, which is kind of weird, but kind of awesome. I don't really like the big dinosaur feet on his hands, but other than that, it looks pretty cool. So let's see, some of you are bringing up the thing I asked. The monster and Kyoryuger were created in space and led by a guy who was moth-based and who had people above him, so there's a connection. The Kyoryugers defeated the entity that created the boss when they came back to team up with the ToQgers in ToQger vs. Kyoryuger. Kyoryuger's Denise, I don't know who Denise is, was created by a creator named Devious who was in space. In the last episode, King was separated from the rest of the cast and there was a time skip. Interesting. Okay. I have seen, like, there's a picture as well. I don't know if anyone specifically remembers this, but there's like a picture of from Kyoryuger or some Kyoryuger content, I think, where it's like a broken planet and they say like, oh, there was an insect species that lived here or something. So it's like Kyoryuger 10 years ago, insects, space, broken planet. Okay. Like, okay, seems some things are lining up a little bit better than they should be lining up. So there was one other thing I was gonna say and I forgot. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess in regards to the Galact insects, apparently they actually say it in the episode, it's not even here. Goma, someone says there are five Galact insect jesters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't think he would be referring to the king of the universe as a jester. So there's a fifth general missing, allegedly. Unless Kamijin doesn't count as... No, Kamijin is definitely a jester. He's a clown. So we'll get rid of that. So there's a 5th general missing, and there's a bit of debate about what the 5th general is. Some people think it could be Kyoryuger related, and it's going to be like a Kyoryuger debath or something like that. So that's how the 5th general arrives, and King is in hot pursuit or something. That could be. Or, you know, this... I feel like this seems more likely to me, but who knows? It could be Rackley's. Like, some of you have been asking, where's Rackley's? I don't know. The show doesn't know. They think he's dead, but we all know he's not dead, because there wasn't a body. The actor didn't get flowers. So where is Rackley's? There's a lot of possibilities. First of all, if he's the 5th Galactic Insect General, that would be incredible. Just... He gets thrown off a cliff and becomes this cosmic powered hater. That would be so much fun. The other possibility is he's just dicking around on Terra for like 2 years, because it's like, where's he been for 2 years? He was there, and then they picked him up and whisked him away for 2 years. Or he's still on Terra. He's been on Terra for 2 years. There's a possibility the KingOhgers go into space. So it's like, if they go into space, does Rackley's take over Terra? That would be a crazy plot twist. Or they come back to Earth and they're like, glad we finally defeated the king of the universe. Everything's all well. Rackley's is in charge of Terra. He's the king of the world. That would be incredible. Honestly, that would be what I want. I would want the Galactic Insect arc to go like maybe 2-3 months. King is involved, of course. They all go into space. Then when they come back, Rackley's is like, you played right into my plan. My plan had nothing to do with the Galactic Insects. However, now you're here and you left Earth, and now I'm going to take over. Where is Rackley's? It's a great question. If Power Rangers ever gets to KingOhger, good luck to them to try to adapt this wild crossover. I mean, they've adapted Dino Charge, so it's not like a huge slap in the face to try to adapt the show they've already adapted. Can't wait for Power Rangers reboot. Same, I guess. I don't really have an opinion on it. Official sequel, almost an official sequel, I think, to KingOhger. Sorry, Kyoryuger. I keep mixing those. They both start with K too, and like that's definitely not the reason they're making this sequel. But it's like, stop. It's very close. It's like when Dino Fury came out and people kept saying Dino Charge or Dino Thunder. Now I'm saying KingOhger instead of Kyoryuger. Kyoryu Violet was traveling in space and recording all the different planets the boss destroyed, and one of them was insect based. Yes, that is, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. So insects in Kyoryuger. And then yeah, the mecha itself is a space thing. That would be pretty fun if he shows up with Plezuo. Is Kyoryuger confirmed to be part of the main series or a spin-off? It is a part of the main series. They really wouldn't release like this mecha in this sword in the DX line if they weren't in the show. Like, it's just weird to make this spin-off and then release a toy on shelves. So this is probably I mean, technically it hasn't really been confirmed, but it's definitely happening in the show. So get ready for obligatory Rackley's redemption arc. I hope they don't do that. He was such a perfect evil villain. They don't need to make him nice. Even, I mean, they've set it up a bit, but they don't need to do that. Just becomes a rider season with the final boss being a ranger. They don't really do that, so I'm down for it. Let's get a final boss ranger. Lord Zed is the 5th Chester. Cosmic Fury tie-in. It is funny too. The KingOhgers go to space or end up doing space shenanigans at the same time that Cosmic Fury is happening. So, I don't think PR is going to adapt KingOhger. If I recall, Hasbro made it pretty clear they want to stop relying on Sentai for footage. Yeah, it's probably not happening. When did Sentai do something like this before? If they ever have, never. Like, the closest we got is Don Momotaro cameoing in an episode of Zenkaiger, but that was just Don Momotaro. Sword is a changer, so he's transforming, so it means the actor. He's got a Shugod soul, a new Judenchi's in the year 2023, based on Kuwagata Ohger. So, I've seen there's a bit of speculation about like maybe the Judenchi could be Kuwagon's soul, because that's a thing that happened. We don't know where Kuwagon's soul is. The Kuwagata, God Kuwagata soul. We don't know where that is. So it could be this. Because apparently the Judenchis were made from like amber, which is like Juga Dead's head, and it's like what the Shugod souls are. So it's like more things. It's like, wait, this does make sense. Personally, I think I think Kuwagon's soul was made into what's it called? The Rainbow Jururia thing that Gira ate as a child. I feel like that's what's happening. They made that into, since they established the Bugnarok ate that, and it turned him into Bugnarok, and it lets him grow. I feel like someone took Kuwagon's soul, made Rainbow Jururia out of it. Gira ate it, and it gave him the ability to understand the Shugods and the connection with Kuwagon. So. Someone should map the Sentai universe, since there are all these different alien species and some had empires. That would be pretty fun. Because, yeah, they all take place on Earth, but we don't know these different alien universes. That would be pretty fun. Second closest would be what they did with Gokaiger and Akared. Yes, yeah, the Gokaigers appeared in 2 episodes of KingOhger, and they did have new toys. So, yeah, that would be pretty close as well. Kuwagata soul is in Gira. I'm calling it. Yep, that's probably what's happening. I don't think it's his Judenchi. I think it would be a bit weird. It could be though. Is KingOhger Part 1 good? I stopped watching after episode 17. I think it's alright. If you can get past the CG background stuff and you like the characters, then you'll probably enjoy it. If you don't really like the characters, the CG is going to be really distracting, so yeah, maybe don't go for it. What if it was the thing that Lady wanted in Directly's miniseries flashback? So I haven't seen that, so I know who you're talking about, but I don't know what thing you're talking about. So I have seen some people say maybe she's the 5th Galactinsect General, which would be kind of weird, but sure, it's a character that exists already. I forgot the Rainbow Jururia stuff entirely. Yeah, because it's only in like 2 episodes, so, you know. Would imagine if the second half of KingOhger is the sequel of Kyoryuger, like Beast Morpher Season 2 was RPM. I feel like saying the second half of Beast Morphers was a sequel to RPM is a bit of a stretch, considering only the last 2 episodes are the sequel, but that's neither here nor there. I feel like Part 2 would be better. I feel like Part 2 is already off to a rocky start, so I don't know how much. Granted, the villains at least I find way more interesting than the Bugnarok. I mean, Deathnarok was interesting at first, and then over time I just did not care about him or the Bugnarok anymore. Immediately, I really like Duga Dead, so yeah. I feel like King will have more than 2 episodes because his new toys are retailed. The 2000s Gokaiger stuff was premium Bandai. Yeah, I mean, it seems like, I don't have it here, but there's like a poster they released before the second half announcement where they had the generals at the bottom and it said like September 2023, and then King was above them and it was like October 2023. It's like, you know, he's appearing in October, but like maybe the entire month of October. Like, you know, we just know it's in October. Do I think Boom Boomger? Do I think Boom Boomger will be in real life this time? It's astounding. We're at a point where that is a legitimate question that can't be asked. I do think, yeah, they definitely did an experiment with KingOhger. I don't know what the Japanese reception is, to be fair. But at least the Western reception has been pretty bad. And even visually, it's not that great. So they're not stupid. They can probably look at this and be like, yeah. So, this is a fun experiment, but maybe they're gonna cut back on that for Boom Boomger. Also, I did want to point out something I thought was funny is a lot of people were saying when we learned about part 2 and they were going to be going to space, a lot of people were saying like, oh, maybe they're going to be outside because they're going to be on Earth, normal Earth. And then the first thing they do is establish the villain's base is just CGI hell. It is just these 5 goofballs strolling through a big green cube. I think it's really funny. I just not to knock anyone, but I just thought it was funny because I believed it too. I was like, oh yeah, I guess they're gonna be cutting back and they're gonna be on location. No, these villains are gonna be stuck in a green room for the remaining course of the show. I think that's really funny. It's a fun green room, to clarify, so I have no problem. Why did I say Kamen Rider Decade isn't real in Kamen Rider Gotchard? Because he will not be in Gotchard. That was wrong. He will not be in the show. Power Rangers has done it quite a few times with Adam returning in space. In space. Amazing name for a season. Corone becoming the second Pink Lost Galaxy Ranger. A bunch of Rangers returning to Operation Overdrive. To be fair, the Operation Overdrive was like an anniversary crossover. But the other things, yes. Power Rangers has done it all the time. If this was Power Rangers, it wouldn't really be a big deal. But for Sentai, it's kind of a big deal. So. APN 8000 says, in Kyoryuger, King had to go shirtless to get his power up, so maybe in KingOhger. Hey, no shame. That's I'm here for it. If you want to, I don't even know how to respond to that. That's really funny. Did I see the weird new Geats stage show form? I did. It's kind of I like Red Geats, but then the takoyaki things on it kind of like brings it all down. So I thought people were loving the show. I'm seeing like some back and forth. Like on my YouTube comment section, I said I didn't really like these last few episodes, and people are giving me a ton of crap for not liking KingOhger. Then Twitter, I see it a bit more divisive. A lot of people I follow and interact with are kind of a bit lukewarm on the show. And then other people are still enjoying it. Obviously there's people enjoying it, disliking it. That's just like every show. But I've kind of seen it both ways. On YouTube, people are angry at me. Twitter, people are agreeing with me. So, do I think there will be a part 3 with Rackley's return? They could do a part 3 with Rackley's return. It's kind of if they did part 1 halfway through, I don't think there will be a part 3, but there could very well be a part 3, the return of Rackley's. That'd be pretty awesome. If Rackley's deserves the whole part dedicated to his return. So, how do I think he'll return? I did say that like a few minutes ago, but he's either a Galactic Insect General or he's just chilling around for the 2-year time skip, and once the KingOhgers leave, he's gonna take over Terra. At least the CGI planet backgrounds will be more visually interesting than outside Shuganum. That is true. Yeah, it's that stuff they can't make a physical location for. It has to be a weird CG thing. So, to be honest, the CG locations were cool, but I do kind of miss the fact that they try to keep locations actually in real life based. Yeah, I'm kind of the same thing. I liked the experiment of different kingdoms being CG backgrounds, but I'm kind of over it. at this point. Like, I don't know, like in some cases I get it, like the big Shugatum room probably can't really make a physical thing with that. Like, it's a lot of stuff they can't really make. But then there's some things that's like maybe they could, like a little street corner, like that part where Death Rock gets annihilated. That could have been a physical set because we kind of go there a few times. It's not a crazy set location. And also they've really been making a lot of fights out in the CG room, and it just looks really weird. Like the one shot I'm thinking of is, again, the big Shugatum room. The 6 KingOhgers transform in that, and there's like no depth of like the location. Like you can tell they're on a CG background. It just looks kind of weird. So yeah, I'm a bit I'm kind of over it. People are asking more about King getting shirtless. I know about this scene, so I'm not like, what is this I'm hearing about? But I did not know that many people wanted King to take his shirt off again. But you know what? I'm no shame. I get it. I mean, yeah, I get it. Has there been any new rumor for Kamen Rider Legend and Gotchard? Yes, we gotta look at the belt. I did talk about it. I talked about it earlier, but earlier is a different the other live stream, so sorry about that. But yeah, I did talk about it. Thoughts on the Oneness buckle? I like it. I will be discussing more about it in my video, later this week, so stay tuned for that. It might not work every time, but I do like Toku doing new effects like green screen room or the Gotchard VTuber wild form. Yeah, like, you know, like the Gotchard forms are like, that's stuff appearing for like 5 seconds. I don't mind. It's a weird CG thing. It's also like a big mad pirate bike monster truck thing. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know, that, you know, make it a CG thing. But like some cases it's like the KingOhgers in a room could be a real location. The KingOhgers fighting, like they do it often, but I feel like they don't do it enough. Where the KingOhger, like, they cut locations in Toku all the time, right? Like in Gotchard recently, like the girl pushed Rin and Hotaro like a couple feet, and then it cuts and they're in a completely different area. They could do more of that, like a KingOhger slashes and it cuts and they're in a completely different area, but it's a physical location. I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah, the fights on the green screen or with the screen background are really really distracting. King is hot as hell without his shirt. Like, damn, grate some cheese off them abs. Wow, 10 years ago must have been a wild time when Carnival debuted. What if Hotaro's father is Joe Odagiri and Kuga shows up with his starter Kemi Deluxe Kuga card? That is not happening. That if Joe Odagiri ever comes back, they're definitely making a whole Kuga movie. They're not, or like a big cameo in a show. They're not gonna do it. Or sorry, not a show, a big cameo in a movie. It won't just be a random cameo in the currently airing show. I do hope they don't do Jeremy like they did Jiro and not give him an actual final form. I don't know how to tell you this, but you know, I don't think any of the others are getting a final form. So, yeah. I mean, maybe he could. The show's not over yet, but I would say it's very unlikely he gets a final form kind of thing. The final form is him in Gira's body doing the Ogai Buso with the thing on his head. Do the Versus movie be back in theater in 2025 for the 50th calendar year? The Versus movies are always in theaters. V cinemas are always in theaters. They have like a limited theatrical run. Like this Geats movie is going to be in theaters for like a little bit, and then it will have a V cinema. So the crossover movie V cinema stuff always ends up in theaters. It's just like a shorter theatrical run, and they don't really. No, they do advertise it like as a theatrical movie, and they give out goodies and stuff. So, did I pre-order the rings from Gotchard? No, that's like, how much is that? I actually don't remember. It's too much for me to care. But I'm gonna look at Toku Collectibles because that's just the most accessible Gotchard rings. $185. Yeah, that's not happening. That's too much. And just to clarify, when I say that's too much, I'm not saying Toku Collectibles is charging too much, because they're basing it off of Bandai's pricing, so that's just too much from Bandai. So no, I did not pre-order those. I will not be pre-ordering those. Do we know who's the secondary rider in Gotchard, and will he use the same driver or a different one? It's gonna be probably it's gonna be Valverod with a belt once he gets a belt. Any Ultraman Blazar rumor for the Redstone? I don't know what that is, so I apologize. I don't know what that's referring to. I started Kamen Rider Exit yesterday, and I really like it a lot so far. Kind of noticing some similarities to 0-1 in some ways. Well, those shows have the same head writers, so any similarities you notice is because of that. I am excited for the Geats movie that shows the Oneness Buckle. Isn't it coming out this month? It came out 2 months ago. Was it? I forget if it was August or July, but it came out in August and or July. But we won't be able to watch it until next year, or the end of this year. So, unlucky. Do I think there will be a Heisei versus Reiwa Kamen Rider movie? It won't happen for like 20 years at least, or no, 15 years at least, because when they did Heisei versus Showa, it was once there were 15 Heisei riders to match 15 Showa riders. So they won't do Heisei versus Reiwa, I imagine, until there's 20 Reiwa riders that go against 20 Heisei riders. So, yeah. What are my thoughts on Valverod? I think he's cool. I think he's, There's a picture. I have a picture of him here. I love the concept of the secondary rider character just being a pseudo rider, and part of his arc seems to be unlocking the powers of a Kamen Rider. That's just really awesome. I really love that idea. Yeah, I look forward. He hasn't appeared in a show yet, so I can't really say much about his personality, but the suit's cool too. I just hope that KingOhger doesn't appear to give us filler. Did I miss any sort of plot details? I mean, it kind of gets... KingOhger does this weird thing, at least in the first half with filler, where... Like, the one thing that always comes to mind is, like, the Rita Humano episodes. Granted, it's not really filler, because it's character... Or no, the Humano episode isn't really filler, so I guess ignore that. But, like, the Rita episode is also not really filler, but... Like, KingOhger's doing this weird thing, or did this weird thing, where, like, they'll end an episode with a cliffhanger, then the next episode does not do anything with the cliffhanger, and then they give us the resolution of the cliffhanger at the end of the episode, but now it's another cliffhanger, and I have to wait for next week. Like, the thing that I keep thinking about is, like, the Rackley's Death and Rock peace treaty was like the end of an episode, and then the next episode did not touch on it at all, and then the episode ended where, like, hey, our peace treaty is we're invading in Cascopa, and then the next episode dealt with that. So, but apparently you meant King as in King the character, which is really funny. See, this is why they're doing a sequel, guys, because it's all these names. It's really confusing. Oh, like, they hope that he's not a side story. He could just be a side story. I don't know. I feel like, as we've been talking about, it seems like there's plenty of room to connect him to the Galactinsects. So maybe he's not really, like, plot development, but he's, like, related to the bad guys. So he's not really filler, I guess, per se. Will we get a new version of Boost Mark 9 Buckle this year? It seems so, because there's going to be one in the V Cinema, so... How about Neo Heisei versus Reiwa, so 10 versus 10? They could do that, but Neo Heisei isn't an actual term. Like, even Heisei Phase 2, like, they kind of recognize that after Decade, like, Double and Geo is, like, kind of its own unique thing. But they don't really... Like, they won't make Heisei versus Reiwa, and then it's it's only half of the Heisei Riders. Like, they always refer to the Heisei Riders as a whole Heisei, a section of Heisei, so. It's kind of annoying that after Geats having minimal toys overall, and now Gotchard is releasing about the same amount of toys as the first there were in the first 2 arcs of Geats in the first month. Yeah, this is why I'm not buying Gotchard toys. I mean, I'm buying cards, but it's a bit different. It's $30 for, like, 100 cards, and a lot of them will give you new forms. So I'm okay to do that, but I haven't bought spoilers for the rest of my Gotchard videos. I didn't buy the gun. I'm not buying the other. What is it? Where is it? Not buying that weird gun thing that he has on his arm. Didn't buy the Valva Rusher or the Valva Buckle thing. There's all the little chemis. I know I said I really like Hopper 1. I might buy the Hopper 1 like chemi friend, but the others I don't really care about. Maybe I'll buy the upgrade form thing with the belt, but I might sell my belt. So we'll see. At the very least, I think I might, as I say in my card unboxing videos, whether or not I buy the card packs going forward is up to you guys and how well those videos do. But I will admit I am kind of leaning more towards at least buying some of the card packs, because it's like $30 to get a bunch of cards. So what are my thoughts on the full articulation Kyoryuger? I like it. I'm not buying it because I don't have KingOhger, and I haven't seen I mean, I like Dino Charge, but I have a Dino Charge Megazord, so I don't really need this. But I'm glad it exists. I think it's pretty cool. I will admit, this existing has me wanting them to do more articulated mechas, because like the release is called like Full Action Kyoryuger. It's not like Kyoryuger KingOhger version. It's the Full Action line. So I hope this means they can give us more full action mechas. I'd really love, I mean, just name your favorite mecha. I'd love a full action Zenkai Vru Majin, a full action Zenkai Majin, even though she's not really a full mecha. Full action Maji King would be pretty awesome. Full action Vru or Juragaon would be pretty awesome. So Bandai saw the Cosmic Fury mecha and feel bad for us. That would be really funny. Do we know if it's the same King or a different version of King from different Earth, like Kaito from Dawn Brothers? Technically, we don't know. We haven't got any confirmation of that, but I feel... I mean, yes, we don't know. But I feel like they wouldn't do all this if it was like an alternate King. Like, it celebrated the 10th anniversary with a King you've never met before. Especially, too, because we're getting all the space stuff. Like, they could just have King come from space. So, I'm still waiting on how the trading cards rules work so I can play them without the driver. There is none. These are just cards. They're not the cards that you use in your belt. They don't have any. There's no game associated with it. You can make up your own game, of course, but there's no official game to go with them. Wait, where is it? $30 for Gotchard cards. I will admit I am stretching a bit because I think Amazon Japan is where, but you have to pay shipping as well. So, you know, because I think Collectibles has like $40 or $50, but that will include like the $20 shipping. So if you're in the US, if you're not in the US, you should probably use Amazon Japan because it'll be cheaper because you won't have to pay for the import fees to and from Collectibles. So KingOhger Arc 2 Super Sentai Cosmic Fury. Yep, pretty much. Who would win in a fight, God Gaim or God Ace? God Gaim isn't really, I mean, he is a god, but he's just like he rules the invests or something. God Ace is a literal god. He's a deity. He's got people worshiping him. So full action Kier Full action Kier Amazing would be Kira Amazing. I don't know if this is supposed to be a pun, like Kira Amazing, it's amazing, or the fact that Kira Amazing is so small, it's already like that, or the insert called Kira May Action, but oh well. Stick a Yu-Gi-Oh card in the driver. I can't do that because I don't have a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but anyone with a Yu-Gi-Oh card is free to do that. Go right ahead. Any thoughts on Pokemon, Digimon, Bakugan, Beyblade, or Yu-Gi-Oh? Yu-Gi-Oh, never did anything with Yu-Gi-Oh. I think I had a couple Beyblades, I had a couple Bakugans, never watched their shows. Pokemon and Digimon, I've had Pokemon cards. I have a Digimon thing. Is it in here? It's not. I have like a Digimon fusion toy with cards. And I've seen a couple Digimon shows, and of course I've seen a couple Pokemon shows. So, and I've gotten Pokemon cards as well. I feel like everyone's had a Pokemon card at some point, right? Surely. Have I seen episode 2 of Gotchard yet? Yes, I have. With Tarantula Abyss's existence, is it possible to do a God KingOhger 0 or not? Almost. You have all the components. With obviously you use the normal castle mecha because it's black and white or black and gold as well. You can do everything except you don't have, there's no black or gold or both of the snail and the, what's the other thing, the wrecking ball. Those don't have variants yet, so you could do everything except those two. So if those matter to God KingOhger, that's, I mean, to you, if they matter to you for God KingOhger, then yeah. So what do I think of Kemi's story? I think it's a cool song. It's not, or like, it's weird. I think it's good. I enjoy it. The usage in the show with like the opening is really great. I don't know. It just feels like a lot of people are like, oh, it sounds just like a Yu-Gi-Oh or anime intro, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. And because of that, I don't really. It's just kind of forgettable to me, but it's also pretty good. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. Does Guy know all the future riders before we do because of the Golden Apple? I don't remember if the Golden Apple gave him future abilities or not, so I have no idea. God Guy would lose because he was affected by time travel in Geo. That's true, and Ace says a true god is not affected by the rules of time travel. What are my favorite mecha for 6th Rangers? Tarantula Knight in KingOhger. It's pretty awesome. What if the last insectoid is the tiny spider who will grow into the final boss? I don't know. He just seemed like a Scrimblow to sell a premium Bandai toy. I don't know if it'll be a final boss thing. What's my Reiwa Rider ranking so far? It's in my Geats review, but it's 0-1 bottom, Revice, Saber, and then Geats. Does Gotchard look like it might be promising? There are 2 episodes, so I can't really judge how good or bad this show could be, because maybe episode 3 will be horrific, and then it'll be a downward spiral from there. Probably not, but, you know, maybe. So, but, I mean, the first episode was alright to me, and episode 2 I really liked. So, you know, there's there. What do I think happened to Heracles during the 2-year time skip? I think he's living in the forest that he fell down into. Inserts are back. I'm kind of surprised Gotchard got an insert song this early. Yeah, it was been a while. Last time we got an insert this early was 0-1, where we had an insert at episode 1, and then it never played again. So hopefully Gotchard can at least play an insert next episode again. Gotchard is pretty much a Yu-Gi-Oh ripoff. I mean, granted, I haven't seen Yu-Gi-Oh, so maybe in Yu-Gi-Oh he transforms into a Kamen Rider, but I don't know for sure. When do I think Gio would make his appearance in a Reiwa Kamen Rider show using the Reiwa Ride Watches? Definitely not for a while, if it even happens at all. Time for the painful wait till December for the reveal of the Boom Boomger suits. Honestly, the more I read that name, I can't believe that's the name of our Sentai. Boom Boomger. Boom 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Perhaps we can manifest a decade cameo in Gotchard. You can try. I won't stop you. I don't think it's happening, but you know. Wait until the end of the first arc for Gotchard. Yeah. Bring back the Kamen Rider girls. That's true. They should have the Kamen Rider girls sing an insert theme for the sisters. And there are 3 of them, right? Each Kamen Rider girl can sing a part of the song that corresponds to one of the 3 sisters. So, like, there's, like, set of lyrics one girl reads, it's for Lachesis. A set of lyrics another girl reads, it's for Klothos. Set of lyrics another girl reads, it's for Atropos. That would go kind of crazy. They won't do that, but, you know, every time I come up with a cool insert song idea, Toei never takes it. I after Revice, I realized it would be kind of cool if they had Demons songs for Kamen Rider Demons, and it was, like, Veil and Hiromi, and then Veil and Ortega, and then you could do Veil and I guess then you would do Veil and Genta for, like, Deathstream or Crimson Veil. For Geats, I thought it would be pretty cool if they made it the final form insert song. The first half would apply to Mark 3, and then the last half was for Mark 9, which that didn't happen. But the insert song we did get, the second half is like a fight song for Mark 9, and then the first half is for, like, they use it for Sumeri, kind of. So, you know, Mark 3 also never appeared again. So there's that. I'm wondering if the level 10 chemis are for an upgrade or an entirely different rider. We are told, or the leaks, rumors are saying that the upgrade form of Gotchard, so the command twin of Gotchard, will be some sort of thing he sticks on the belt. We know there's, like, a slot on the belt, so it's going to be a thing he sticks in the top. And that will use the level 10 cards. I think, like, the base version of level 10, the base version of the upgrade form is, like, UFO Gotchard or UFO X Gotchard, and we know in the belt there's a UFO X sound, so that's a real card, so that makes that rumor have a little bit of credibility. So that's what it sounds like. Our first upgrade's going to be like a thing on the belt that uses the level 10s, but perhaps Legend is going to use the level 10s. I think that would be pretty cool. Like, if you're trying to do the decade thing, like 10 decade single card in the belt, you know, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Geats had the best inserts for Reiwa. So I can't read today. Geats had the best inserts for Reiwa so far, in my opinion. I don't know if I can agree with that. 0-1, definitely, they're fine. Saber has Rewrite the Story, which is just peak, so that kind of already puts it pretty high. But Revice is pretty consistent overall. Volcano is amazing. I think I'll say Revice is my favorite, at least with insert themes, because Volcano is amazing. Mirage Mirror is amazing. Cherryish is really good. Ride and Bloom is not in the show, but it's in Revice side content. That's really great. Geats has a lot of great songs, but none of them are in the show, so a lot of them are in the show, so I don't know if I'd count them as inserts personally. But Desire, or Negai, I guess because Desire's a different song now, I really like that one, so. Are we eating the Golden Boost Mark 9 in the Buffa special because God Ace in his white hair form has a Golden Boost Mark 9 buckle? I don't know if you can eat a raised buckle, but it seems like we are getting one because there's one happening. I don't know what's the normal number of riders anymore. After Geats, it's 34. That's a joke. I think Clotho is Rin's sister, but that is my theory. That would make Rin all of these girls' sister because they're said to be the Sisters of Darkness, so they're all related to each other. So if Rin's their sister, that means they're all related. But the bad guy girls are supposed to be, like, there's 3 of them because there's 3 of them in a Greek myth. So Rin is just a 4th, as part of that. So the school already seems suspicious. Would I bet on them being the villains later? Assuming you mean the Alchemy Academy. I don't know. I mean, just because of how Rider has been in the last few years, every time there's an organization, they're the bad guys. And granted, they're tying back into Shocker, but at least in my opinion, it's gotten kind of ridiculous recently. Because Fenix, sure, Fenix 50th anniversary or whatever, but like sort of logos, good guy organization turns evil. Fenix, good guy organization turns evil. DGP was always kind of mysterious, but they obviously turned evil. So if the Alchemy Academy is evil, that would be so boring. Like, personally, like, that would be so derivative, because they're the good guy academy, and now they're evil again. This is not the 5th time this has happened. So still wonder why Rising Sun never made it into 01. I'm not gonna go on an insert theme rant, because I always end up going on a rant when insert themes are brought up. But yes, I do agree. I don't know what happens there for them to come up with an insert theme and then it just doesn't make its way into the show. You own that song. You made that show. Surely you can plop it into a fight scene, right? Anyways. Do the Geats jobber riders count as official riders? The ones that died quickly? I assume you mean the riders that are called, like, Kamen Rider Shiro, Kamen Rider Ginpen, Kamen Rider Groovy, because they are referred to as Kamen Riders, so they would be Kamen Riders. Have I ever tried to eat a raised buckle to prove it? That's a fair point. I haven't tried to eat a raised buckle, so maybe it is possible. I'm actually not going to try, so I'll leave it up to you. Don't do that. Imagine if Majin is making a TikTok video. She is. She's filming it in the other room. I'm gonna help her upload it. Basically, any insert song where the writer actors perform a song together will be a favor for me. I agree. Same with Sentai actors. Sentai inserts, whenever the character songs are always peak. Are they biological sisters or just cult sisters? They could be cult sisters, but right now we just have to assume they're real sisters, I guess. Especially too, because they're telling us like their ages, like who's the oldest, who's the youngest. So I would have to assume they're biological sisters. So also, yes, I didn't realize that, but if Rin is their sister, that means their dad is Fuga, and Ratchasis was calling Fuga hot. So that's, yeah, they're definitely not related. I feel like there's at least some conflict with them calling the old guy who gave Hotaro the belt a traitor, but they won't be evil. Yeah, probably. What's my favorite Kemi? Bounty Bunny. He's not out yet, but we have pictures of him. He's my favorite. Considering Gotchard's use of shiny metallic colors, and considering gold is usually considered the final goal of alchemy, Gotchard's final form is probably going to be gold. That is a pretty good guess. I won't argue with that. I think you're probably right. I personally think the final form... I mean, we have Gold Dash. I personally think the final form is going to do something with the fire, the furnace, because I didn't think that would be a thing consistent with all the forms. I thought it was just going to be Steam Hopper using it, because it's like a furnace for the train. But no, they're using it for all the forms, so I feel like the final form will be fire based, or like there's going to be flames all over it. That's my assumption. I could imagine unused insert songs could have been playing for V-Cinema movies, but the moment they get canceled, they never use them. I don't think that's true, because that would mean they planned Geats V-Cinemas around episode 20? Because the 4 Geats writers got ones that dropped really early. So that would mean they planned like a Nago insert theme for a V-Cinema before the show was even close to ending. So I don't think that's true. They just make the songs, and whether or not they're used in the show is up to them. Gold Dash fusion form. I don't think Gold Dash will be the final form, just because he is a normal card and he can be he has a form in the belt that's just normal. So, any thoughts on Sailor Moon? I have not seen Sailor Moon, so I have no thoughts on Sailor Moon. If White Waz can eat a ride watch, I can eat a race buckle. Well, I'm not White Waz, so I will not be eating the race buckle. To me, the final form will be red, like the alchemist in the storybook. That's possible, although since we just have an auxiliary form that's red, would be a bit strange, but hey, who knows. Obviously, the final form is to control all the 101 Kemis combined. That seems probably true. I kind of think maybe it might be the 101st Kemi. There's a lot of like fun possibilities about what the final form will be, because it could either be all 101 Kemis merging, or could be just 101st Kemi. Because we also know there's Hopper, what is it called? Hopper 1-on-1, which will combine with normal Hopper to create a new form. And then there's also something called like Grand Liner in the belt, which combines with normal Liner to create a different form. So that kind of sounds like a build rabbit tank thing. So like maybe it's like one new Kemi card. The 101st Kemi is 2 Kemis that combines with Hopper and Steamliner. Am I excited for his dad to be the 101st Kemi? I'm very excited for his dad to be the 101st Kemi. Is 101 not counting the legacy cards? Correct. There are 10 different categories: insects, vehicle, job, artifact, animal, plant, ancient, and occult, space, and like mythical. So there's 10 categories, there's 10 cards in each category, and then there's a last 101 we don't know about. So there's 101 Kemis. And then the legend ones are all extra stuff. Have I seen Futo PI yet? Yes, I've seen all of Futo PI. I thought it was pretty cool. Final form is definitely the Philosopher's Stone. That's possible. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. See, also I'm curious what the final form, what like, if we don't know what the 101st Kemi is, so it could be the 101st, but it's like, what is it? I also could see them doing like a new belt or a new attachment thing, like on the arm, like Kiva did, or Blade, like one of the older Heisei seasons, because there's not really much you can do with a new card as a final form. Because I also think we have the rings established as a thing, so I feel like it would be kind of fun if they made the ring, the final form used a ring. Like maybe he takes a card, he hits his microphone, he sticks it in the thing on his arm, and then he sticks a ring in the side and creates a new form. The thing is, we have Wisdom, and then there's the mythical one, which is stuff like Griffin. I don't remember anything other, but it's like creatures that don't exist. I mean, granted, occult is also stuff that doesn't exist.